Hello, my name is Jen Johnson. My pronouns are she and hers, and I'm the Director of Orientation, Transition, and Retention. Welcome to today's orientation webinar. As the Orientation Office, we prepare new students and families for the upcoming transition to AU through coordinated intentional programming. We strive to help every new student connect, belong, and grow within our community. We welcome the members of our community to bring their full self to AU. We value human dignity and commit to being empathetic, inclusive, just, and respectful. Our goal is to welcome new Eagles to our community where individuals of all identities and experiences are understood, appreciated, and fully included. In the chat box is a link for live closed captioning. We will be recording the session and posting it to our YouTube channel in about 48 hours. You may use the question box feature to ask presenters questions that may be answered live during the session and recorded for follow-up. I'm now going to turn things over to the presenters of student involvement.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ayana Wilson. I serve as the Director for the Center for Student Involvement. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and we are excited today to talk to you a little bit about our office and what you can look forward to when you join us in the fall. I'm going to allow my two co-presenters to introduce themselves as well.
Hi, Calvin Haney, Associate Director for the Center for Student Involvement. Pronouns he, him, his. Excited to walk you through the opportunities that the Center for Student Involvement has for you as the class of 2024.
Everyone, I'm Travis Roberts. I'm one of the assistant directors in the Center for Student Involvement. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and I'm excited to talk to you about CSI.
So before we get started, there were a couple other folks who work in our office who also wanted to say hello. So we have a quick introduction from them as well. So hopefully you enjoy it.
It's the rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. And no edition of the grand design. Some people say it's even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these central walls. It's all I see, it's our dreams, real, not everything. We gotta be happy.
All right. So that was the rest of our staff. So in the Center for Student Involvement, we have 9 full-time staff members here to help you get engaged and connected on campus. And so the Center for Student Involvement really is the hub for student engagement. We work with students, we advise and we coach through leadership development and also programming. Our 4 large-scale cohorts are our student government, fraternity and sorority life, student media, and AU Club Council. We're going to talk more about those in a little bit, but we really want to make sure you all understood what our roles are. So we work with you all in leadership development, advising for programming and engagement, and we also do our own campus programming. So when we get to the end, we'll talk a little bit about Welcome Week events, and our office also does weekend programming to make sure you all are engaged. I'm sure you're aware that we will be virtual for a lot of the engagement opportunities that come out of our office, just because the size and the engagement that we tend to get doesn't meet our required guidelines. But we will be connected, we will be engaged, and we're looking forward to working with you all. Next slide. All right, so I mentioned before a little bit about our cohorts. These are the 4 cohorts that are in the Center for Student Involvement. The first one is student government, and they're primarily our student advocacy and programming bodies. And so we have AU Exec, we also have Senate. So those of you that were involved in high school will have the opportunity to still be involved when you get to AU. We do have what's called first-year fellows. It allows first-year students to participate and learn more about it. We also will have some Senate seats open for the class of 2024 to also be engaged on campus.
The next one that we have is fraternity and sorority life. We have 30 Greek-lettered organizations spanning for 3 councils. All of our organizations have values of brotherhood or sisterhood, community, leadership, scholarship, and philanthropy and service. Throughout the fall semester, we'll have events for incoming students, first years and second years, but our primary recruitment process will be in the spring of the first year.
Our next student cohort is student media. Student media represents diverse forms of media ranging from journalism to production and entertainment. All students are welcome to join regardless of your class or your major. You don't have to have any experience, or you could have had experience in high school as well. There are 10 media related organizations that are looking forward to working with you and connecting on campus.
Awesome. And finally, we have the AU Club Council, who represents our over 150 recognized student organizations. We have everything from an anime club to the Zaran Club, which is a Pan-Asian interest organization. We have club consultants that are in the club council that are here to ensure that each of the first-year students or any students who's interested in a club that hasn't made a connection, that they're there to connect you and find a community that fits for you. Because we're here to ensure that each of you as change makers, scholars, activists, and artists and leaders find your place here at American University and student involvement.
Next slide.
So the next slide talks about Engage, which is our virtual engagement platform. All of our student organizations are going to have a profile on this website that you have here at the bottom of the screen. The cool thing is it's the same credentials as your AU login. So once you click on the link, it'll redirect you to the AU website to log in, and you can start doing your research now. You can search by categories, you can search by keyword. So if I wanted to look for all the dance organizations, I can just search dance and see all the organizations affiliated with that. And then you can click on join in that organization, and then that student organization can reach out to you to figure out what that recruitment or intake process looks like. The other cool thing is we have a Cork app that we would love for you to download. It's the same thing that we have for the webpage, just for your phone. You can quickly search for organizations and as well as events that are happening. You can also search now to see what events are happening for the fall.
So we want you to save the date. The Center for Student Involvement is totally excited for you to join us here as the class of 2024. And to kick it off, we've got our Welcome Week at Night programming. We want you to be a part. We want you to join the community. So we want you to look for our late night breakfast invitation on Wednesday, August 19th. Our Jazz in the Garden, which is a traditional time for folks to get together and hang out. The virtual experience is just as impactful as the physical one. Culture Fest, so Jazz in the Garden is Thursday, August 20th. The Culture Fest, which is our celebration of our multicultural student organizations and community, is hosted on Saturday, August 22nd. Drag Bingo, an American University favorite, is Tuesday, August 25th. And then Virtual Involvement Fair, where over 200 student organizations will be online and on hand to meet and greet with you and connect, Thursday, August 27th. We want you to download the Cork app, so that as we post our events on the Center for Student Involvement Engage page, you'll get notifications about the events that are coming up. Next slide, please. Awesome, so virtual involvement is the key. We're excited for you to join us here at American University and be a part of our co-curricular involvement community. We want you to explore our clubs and engage and download the Cork app. We want you to take time to connect with the student leaders at AU Student Government, Fraternity Sorority Life, Student Media, and Club Council. And most of all, for the Center for Student Involvement, we want you to feel a sense of belonging. We want you to begin to review the information that's on our webpage at american.edu, OCL/student involvement. Because this experience is for you and about you, and without you, we can't have a great campus involvement experience. So we're excited to have you.
Question came through the chat. Will there be any in-person activity, or is it all virtual?
So for the beginning of the semester, because of the size and scope, our events will be virtual. So we will be working with some of our student organizations and some of the student cohorts we just talked about earlier. So student government, club council, student media, and fraternity and sorority life to provide some virtual engagement opportunities. One, to make sure we're following safe social distancing guidelines, but also to ensure that those students who are not physically on campus still are able to participate and engage in what we're offering. So we will be virtual, definitely at the beginning of the semester.
I know you all have more questions than are coming in the chat box. So again, these, I know your orientation leaders have shared a lot, but this is some time for you all for some questions on what you're interested in getting involved in, gosh, a month's time.
While we are waiting, I do want to do a shameless plug. Jen, is it possible to go back to our first page, the opening slide? Sorry, one over to the right. Perfect. So at the top, you'll see our Instagram and our Facebook handles for the Center for Student Involvement. So if you have more questions about what we do as an office or how to get connected, feel free to follow us. We're trying to get our followers up. So please support us in that. You'll be able to see more information about our Welcome Week programming, the Welcome Week at Night events, and other ways for you to get connected and engaged with our office as well.
We got a few more questions coming through. So how many clubs or organizations do you suggest joining after deciding your interest? Calvin, do you want to take that one?
Well, be a member of as many organizations as you'd like, because membership is not limited. You can make that the central point of your student involvement and hang out in the art club and the anime club and the gamers club and Model UN. But for leadership or really getting yourself involved at deeper levels, really 2 organizations is really important, because you're managing both your academics, your social life, and then the opportunities for leadership that student organizations offer really require some time and focus, and we want to help you develop yourself in a few strong areas, as opposed to really trying to get you a breadth of experience. We're looking for that depth of leadership experience. Great question.
We got a question about the Save the Date events that we had for CSI programming. Are the Save the Date events on the last slide virtual or in person? They are all going to be virtual. We're going to have virtual engagement opportunities. And so once your student can log into the Engage platform, there's an opportunity for them to join that event, and they'll get all the notifications for the event happening and anything that might be happening within that description as well.
And if you have logged into your MyAU, then you have access to Engage. So if you've done that already right now, then you can log into Engage as well, and you can start exploring the different organizations, find out who the leadership is. They also are updating their pages. You can kind of make your master list of organizations you're interested in, so that when you do come to the Virtual Involvement Fair, you're able to meet with those groups and get connected.
A similar question was about the online club recruitment. So we're going to do that plugin for the Virtual Involvement Fair. It's currently on the slide at the very bottom, Thursday, August 27th. Again, it's all going to be virtual. So make sure they go into the MyAU portal or the Engage portal and click on join so they can see that event details.
And as you're traveling through the Engage page and looking at all the different student organizations, you can actually express interest in membership by clicking the join button for any of the clubs that you're interested in, and they send the club email, and once they accept you, you begin to get information about involvement opportunities with the clubs. I was just working with the Black Student Union today, and they're blown away by the opportunity to have a fixed audience with students that are really interested with what they have going on. But they didn't see that they had like 30 members that were already prospective and interested in joining. So go on to Engage, surprise the clubs by letting them know that you're interested in what they have going on.
And for those of you who have sat through a couple of these, we know that there is such thing as Zoom fatigue and being on. Just remember, if you go to Google, AU, CSI, it'll take you to our webpage. And so everything that we've talked about is there. You can find a link to get directly to Engage. You can find out about our different student cohorts and the leadership opportunities. And you can also connect directly with one of the advisors that work in the office. We can all be found there as well. So feel free, if this was a lot and you're like, wait, I have more questions, connect with us. We are here to help you all get engaged, get involved, and stay connected.
We just had a very specific question about how the virtual involvement fair will be working. So Calvin, I'm not sure if you want to touch base a little bit about how that might be working.
Sure, I'm coming in close, sneak peek. Because what we're going to do is we're going to run the virtual involvement fair through via cohorts. So what we're going to do is schedule from a particular day on Thursday, August 27th from about 12 to 5 o'clock and having opportunities for by cohort, social clubs, fraternity sorority life, student government, multicultural clubs, an opportunity to meet in a Zoom meeting with those student organizations. And you can travel through those cohorts throughout the day, poking in and out and meeting with folks. And then we're going to promote videos across the clubs on our Engage page and have them running throughout the day and encourage all of our student organizations who register to have their IGs going. So their Instagram lives are going while they're in the chat, while you're connecting with us, the Center for Student Involvement. So we want it to be a multi-visual opportunity for you to see what they're doing on their Instagram, what we're doing on Engage, and really how we build communities in Zoom so that we give you the chance to see all the clubs. Because the challenge is, oh my gosh, there's so many clubs. So we're really trying to give you the opportunity to connect in ways that feel comfortable for you virtually, of course, practicing good social distancing, but also giving you an opportunity to see how upperclassmen are engaging with the community.
We have a few questions about club sports and intramurals. Ayana, do you want to take that one?
I'm actually going to lob that one to Jen because I don't want to misspeak, but it is a good question. So we work with recognized student organizations under specific umbrellas. Club and rec and intramural sports fall under rec services. And so that's a separate office, and they will be able to provide all of that information. We deal primarily with student-run, student-led, student interest, student groups without the physical aspect. So the easiest way to remember is if you have to sign a waiver to participate, that's going to be a different office. So usually it's rec services. So Jen, if you have anything you'd like to add?
Not too much to update. I have been in contact with rec sports and club sports. Some of it, as you may have heard already, that the Patriot League, which is our student athletics for the fall, will not be playing fall sports. So I think some of those decisions and timelines are what RecFit needed to make some other decisions. So I will let them know that that is top of mind for you all, and we'll be sure to share out any information that they can provide. But it is one of those things that decision about intercollegiate athletics just came last week. So I guess my last question for you all, knowing that, you know, it'll be a while before folks are coming into your office, but just as a reminder, where are you located and sort of, you know, how we'll be able to connect with you all in the future, or if people are already familiar with campus?
So our physical office is on the second floor of the Mary Graydon Center. And so we have basically like a student involvement area. So our club council, student government, and our programming boards are also spread out on the second floor. On the third floor, you'd find our fraternity and sorority life offices. So we have our advisors there and also the council offices. Those will be offline again at the beginning of the semester. So the easiest way to connect with us directly is via email. And then also on our social media platforms as well. We will have Calendly, Book It. We're working on that to make sure that if you would like to make an appointment, you're able to make those appointments. And we will be on campus periodically, but it's more to kind of check in, less for events and engagement. So again, the best way to connect with us is through email. And we will make sure and respond, and we'll connect you to the students that you need to be connected to get involved and be engaged.
Well, thank you all so much for your time. I cannot encourage you all enough to download the Cork app to your phone. Your orientation leaders are going to be talking about that in your small groups that are coming up. All of the welcome events that will be happening following move-in, we're putting those in as well. And then as the, you know, our returning students and orgs are planning their fall. So put that in your phone. That'll become one of your best friends. Make sure you're familiar with that process. and have it on your phone that you've logged in prior to those experiences. But thank you again to our student involvement team. We have another webinar coming up in just a bit, so if you want to have a quick break and then join us for the next one. All right, everyone. Bye-bye.